And I'm going to come back here now and I'm going to click File, New. And you can see there's other options here: music video compilations, picture compilations. Menu based, of course, would be the standard DVD with menus and things like that. So this time I'm going to pick that, and I'm going to stick with NTSC widescreen because that's what all my videos end up being, because my camera of course shoots widescreen. And AC3 stereo for the Dolby Digital AC3 sound. So I click OK. Now see, it starts out with just a blank menu here. Now down at the bottom of the screen there's a tab down here that says Themes. If you go to that, you'll see a variety of different predefined themes that they've created for you to you know, kind of help you get started with some fancy looking menus. And of course you can make your own if you don't like what they have, but each of their predefined ones here has, you know, the menus and the backgrounds and the cutouts for the preview pictures and things like that are all kind of predefined in here. So let's just pick one here for fun. So you just click it, drag it up, drop it in the menu box, and now you've got your new background and your new menu format is defined here. So now I'm going to go back over to the Explorer tab down here to find some files. And over here in this area I'm going to go to the Timeline tab. So now initially it starts out, this is the timeline for this menu, and so you can see we've got video here, but we don't have any background music. If I wanted some background music, I could pick, say, a WAV file here, for example, drag it over into here, into the timeline, and throw it in. Now I have background music for my menu. And then of course this will adjust the length, the playing length of the menu to match the length of the song that you put in, which may or may not be what you want to do, so you may want to change that. But no, that's, you know, getting into some more sophisticated things that I think I'll save for later on. So now we'll come back to the Explorer window here, and we'll find some movies to put on here. So here's our Christmas 2007 movie, and there's a corresponding AC3 file with the same file name to go with it. So we just take this MPEG file, drag it up here onto the timeline, set it in place, and now that gives us a button on the menu that is associated with the movie that I just put on. If I double click that button, now this timeline down here actually changes to become the timeline for the movie itself. So now you can see the soundtrack here is the sound for the movie, and the video track is the actual video of the movie. And if you wanted to set chapters in your movie, you could tab through here. I shouldn't say tab, but you can position your way through here to find where you might want your chapter points to be. So like, say right here, this is a blank spot between first and second scene. Now if I come up here just to the where the actual time indicators are on the timeline and double click, it inserts a scene chapter marker here. And maybe try and zoom in a little bit. Let me stand up here and try and adjust this a little. See if I can get a closer shot of this particular operation here. Okay. Oops. So you see it says scene chapter there, so now I can type in something like, well, just for something easy, I'm just going to type chapter 2 here, but whatever. Okay, so now that will set a chapter point in the movie. Now when you set chapters in your movies, you really want them to occur on what are called iframes in the MPEG video, which now this gets into another complicated issue, but you might know with MPEG videos you have iframes and P frames and B frames. iframes are complete independent frames, whereas the P and B frames are partial frames that come in between iframes. So what we'll do here is we'll kind of zoom in on the timeline right here. So can I do that? We'll zoom in closer. Now what you can do, if you go up and click on this marker here and start to drag it, you'll see that these little arrows that appear here, those are arrows indicating where iframes are, and so you can actually line up your chapter point to be on an iframe, which is ideally with the way where you want it to be. So you go ahead and you do that, and then that, you know, that will give you a completed DVD with your chapter points in the right place. And if I'm scrolling out now on the video here, if I tab ahead a little bit here and find another spot where I might want to put another chapter, I can, click up here, and I'll call this chapter, I guess this would be chapter 3 technically. The first at the beginning of the disc is chapter 1. And again, I will drag this and find my iframe and set it on the iframe, and that gives me my chapter point where I want it to be. So that's how you would add chapters to your movie if you wanted to do that. Okay, I'm going to zoom out again here now to get the whole screen. Oops.